My name is Keith Scott. I'm a medical doctor and I've spent many years in the Kalahari Desert. I had a practice there where I used to fly myself to remote villages, and amongst my patients were San Bushmen, people who are hunter-gatherers based in the Kalahari Desert, and to this day some of them still maintain their nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle, and certainly during the time that I was there were many of them who had very little contact with civilization. I noticed that their health in general was very good compared to some of the other people that lived in those areas. And I realized that virtually all the foods that they ate traditionally, they dug out of the ground and they got off trees, were in fact spicy foods, very strongly flavored foods. And that focused my attention on spices. And I went back to a book that was written by a famous anthropologist, Richard Lee. He wrote it in the 1970s, and he'd spent many years with the San Bushmen in the Kalahari Desert, and he itemized all the foods that they ate.
When you're studying the diet of the Jinkwasi, you're studying a diet that's probably close to what most of our ancestors lived on for hundreds of thousands of years before the invention of agriculture.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the San diet is they use a wide variety of these strongly tasted plant foods. And Professor Lee found they use over 100 different plant species, and most of those are strong compounds. There's a little bit of a burning, a little bit of a tang, probably a lot like chilies.
Wild foods are just stronger, they have much stronger flavors than cultivated foods. So I'm very interested in the work of Keith Scott and his interesting ideas about the nutritional basis of hunter-gatherer life and what lessons we can learn from it.
An example of one of the common foods that the San eat is the water root. As I bite into the water root, the first thing I taste is ginger. This typifies what we find with a lot of spices and a lot of plant compounds, is that they aren't necessarily confined to one species of plant.
One of the interesting points in Keith's research is that these strong flavors represent chemical constituents which are quite important, may have overall importance in maintaining health and vitality.
It became apparent to me that these people for thousands and thousands of years had actually been eating their medicines. And what we have here is the anthropological evidence to show that we evolved with spicy foods. And the interesting thing about spices and the way we evolved with spices is the scientific work that's going into them now. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2006 showed that of the top 50 antioxidant foods, the top 5 were cloves, oregano, cinnamon, ginger, and turmeric. So spices have a far higher antioxidant activity. While I was doing research for my book, Medicinal Seasonings, I realized that I really didn't eat enough in the way of spicy foods compared to people in India and Thailand who had all the benefits from these foods.
People in the East love eating spicy food because not only does it enhance the flavor of the food, but it also has a health benefit for them, and it tastes good.
I went to the supermarket and I bought a whole lot of different spices, ground them up and put them in a plastic bag, and I started taking a couple of teaspoons a day, just so that I could be happy that I was getting enough to help me prevent getting these chronic degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer, etc. But after a month or so of taking this product, I found that in fact my short-term memory had improved, I had far more energy, I recovered a lot better after my training. I then gave friends and families, just other people I knew, some of this powder to take, and those that did taste it also found the benefits, especially the athletes. And so I developed a product based on this powder, which included about 22 different spices. I asked a couple of top athletes in South Africa to take it. I did a survey, and the results showed that up to 80% of the people who took the product had the benefits.
Butter spice was an integral part of our training for the doozy. I'd normally do a 3-month intense build-up. It's not all about training hard, it's actually about trying to recover quicker so that you can get back out there and train. I tend to, when I train and take on big races, I tend to push myself to the absolute limit, and the body sometimes fails before the mind does. It's crucial to have a mineral supplement, and VitaSpice was an integral part of my training routine. Reflecting back, I actually didn't get sick at all over those 3 months. I was able to train at a high level. I actually found that I had the ability to be able to do each session productively, not worrying about recovery. And I mean, I was able to perform, and having broken the record, and I can say that VitaSpice definitely helped me achieve that goal.
In the West, we have substituted spices with artificial flavorants and colorants. Those of us who do not include a lot of spices in our diets should consider taking a spice supplement so that we can obtain the long-term health benefits that spices can provide.